Lesnar being added, this could have been the main event. Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan tore the house down, giving it their best. I mean, Liv Morgan would finally go for Oblivion, and she would get countered in a manhandle slam, and she'd be pinned for the loss. But Liv Morgan looked so strong here. I hope they don't put her in a match at the Royal Rumble. What I hope is she wins the Royal Rumble and goes on to WrestleMania, or Bayley wins the Royal Rumble and goes on to WrestleMania against Sasha Banks. Those are my two picks to win the Royal Rumble right now. So, we'll need to see what happens, but Liv Morgan looked very strong here. I wouldn't be shocked if she goes on to WrestleMania and wins it from Becky Lynch. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I would really enjoy that. So, Becky Lynch retains their title, and finally, you get the Fatal 5-Way. Brock Lesnar, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. And this was match of the night, in my opinion, no question. Great match. It was start off from the beginning, hitting everything they can. Bobby Lashley spears Brock Lesnar through the barricade. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins hit Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar with the steel steps. Everything is happening in this match. Everything that can be is, and I enjoyed this match so much. I was just blown away by the way everyone performed in this match. Bobby Lashley would lock in the Hurt Lock on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar showed no way of getting out. Big E makes the save. Big E then gets F5 for his troubles. And Brock Lesnar is your new WWE champion. What a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't believe this. You couldn't have pitched it to me. But, am I mad? Hell no. This was a great match. Brock Lesnar pinning Big E, maybe that shouldn't have been, maybe you should have pinned Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins so Big E looked like a viable challenger for the future. Apparently the talk is it's going to be Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Then it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar at, I think, Super Showdown is the pay-per-view in February. And then it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber, if they have it. And then it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a title unification match at WrestleMania 38. I don't know if I want to see that, because I like that they have two championships. I like the two world championships, but that's just me. But it's definitely very nice to see Brock Lesnar with this title. I love him in his babyface run. I mean, he was taking selfies after a pay-per-view. I was sitting there going, holy shit. Brock Lesnar is living his best life right now. He actually seems happy. I mean, he's interacting with fans. I've never seen him do that in all of his years on the main roster. And I can't remember the last time he was high-fiving fans, coming down, taking selfies. Do you remember that? Point it out in the comments if you remember that. Please do. Wherever you can comment, Twitter, anything, please let me know. Because I sure as hell don't. So Brock Lesnar stands tall to end the pay-per-view. Bravo to him, your new WWE champion. And that leads us into Monday Night Raw, January 2nd. It kicked off with the lights going out. You saw Michael Cole and everybody saying, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Then the lights come on, and who's in the ring? But the Advocate himself, Mr. Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is in the ring, and he announces that he is the Advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed, new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came out. He thanked Paul Heyman. He thanked everyone for believing him. He thanked all the competitors from last night. He said Big E gave him the fight of his life, and he was an honorable champion, and he's everything a WWE champion should be. So, talking about getting the rub, by the way. from a top guy. That is getting as big a rub as you can. I really did enjoy this. And after this, they gave the mic to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman said, by the way, Roman Reigns in 1 week without me gets COVID-19. You can get rid of COVID-19 in a week, buddy, but karma is a bitch that you can't get rid of. So Paul Heyman shot fire in this. Everyone was dropping bombs last night on commentary. Like, just to name a few of Byron Saxton going at Corey Graves saying, he goes, yeah, he's as happy, he's more happy than I've ever seen you in your life. And he also, when there was a women's tag team match, and he goes, and Corey Graves says, I don't know if this was right. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone, but Byron Saxton actually made a joke about, Corey Graves says, what do you mean? I always love my girl. And he goes, yeah, that's what your ex-wife said. Or some shit like that. It was something to the turn of it. And you just heard Corey Graves just go silent. To the point of I was sitting there with just my mouth agape of, holy fuck, did they just make that joke? I couldn't believe it. It was something to the turn of that. It wasn't those words by any means, but it was something like that to where I was like, holy fuck. I looked at it and I was like, oh man. So everybody's dropping bombs that night. They said that there will be a fatal 4-way in the main event between Seth Rollins, Big E, Bobby Lashley, and Kevin Owens, and the winner will go on to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble match. So the original match that was supposed to take place last night is now at WWE Raw. After this, we got Alpha Academy versus RK Bro, the Raw Tag Team Champions, in a non-title match. RK Bro would actually lose this match. Otis coming in, fighting as hard as he can. Very good for Otis, by the way. Otis, I really hope he gets some type of title before he leaves WWE. Eventually, it will happen. I don't think he's one of the guys who's going to stay his whole career. I feel like he is going to be maybe a couple years down the line he'll be gone, but while he's here, I hope he fights I hope he gets a couple titles. So Alpha Academy would pick up the win, solidifying themselves as probably the number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. After this, we got Dana Brooke and Reggie versus Tamina and Akira Desal. Now, this is where Corey Graves gets annoying. A great commentator, in my opinion. I truly love him as a commentator. I wish he wasn't a heel commentator. I wish he could just be the type of guy to just talk and give his opinion, because he is a wealth of wrestling knowledge. I'm not a heel commentator fan by any means, but I do like Corey Graves as an announcer, if that makes sense. Because they would just make jokes about Reggie dressed up in a red suit, and he would be called Ronald McDonald and shit. And the first time was funny. Second time, okay, you're starting to go a little forward. The third time, okay, please stop. Fifth time, okay, shut the fuck up. Seriously, like, how many times can you make that joke? By the way, Battle Droid of the Week coming later in the episode. Yeah, anyway, Dana Brooke and Reggie would win the match, and Dana Brooke would retain her 24/7 championship. After this, Becky Lynch came out to the ring saying there's no one left to challenge her. She's done everything. She is the main event. She is everything that is good with Monday Night Raw. She makes the money. She brings everyone in. And then Liv Morgan comes out and says she ain't done with her yet. Then Bianca Belair comes out and says, you just lost twice. I think it's my turn at Becky Lynch. And they both started, and Becky Lynch said, "You guys sell this yourselves. I'll see you guys at the Royal Rumble, whoever decides." And then they would both attack Becky Lynch. Then they would turn on each other, shockingly. Becky Lynch would attack. Becky Lynch would get out of the ring. And during the backstage segment, Doudrop would come out, and they announced that it's going to be Doudrop versus Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan next week in a triple threat match. And whoever wins is now the number one contender at the Royal Rumble match. After this, we got a women's tag team championship match between the champions Queen Selena and Carmella versus Liv versus Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley. It was a good match. It was a quick match. Carmella actually didn't. It was pointed out to me on Bleacher Report that Carmella actually didn't tag, was an illegal competitor for the whole match. Carmella would not fight the whole match, and Nikki Ash would take the pin. It was a okay match. Queen Zelina would pick up the win after hitting the code red on Nikki Ash, and that would be the end of it. And they're kind of teasing a split between Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, which I would kind of like to see. I would like to see them go their own ways. And Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley both go for separate titles. This is why I think WWE needs a mid-card women's championship, and why they need to unify the rosters. 2 world championships, 2 women's championships, or 1 women's championship and 2 women's mid-card championships would make the women's division very big, in my opinion. Because it gives women something else to chase besides the tag team, and because there aren't that many tag teams for women. Let's face it, there aren't. WWE needs to build up their women's tag team division. If, and only if, they can create a women's mid-card championship, like a women's Intercontinental or women's United States championship, that would be huge for that division, in my opinion. Because then you have Nikki Ash, give her something to chase, because I don't think she's going to be in the main event anytime soon. Rhea Ripley, maybe. Nikki Ash, not yet. Just my opinion. After this, the Mysterios announced they will be a part of the Royal Rumble after at day 1. I forgot to tell you this. Johnny Knoxville has announced he will be in the Royal Rumble. He will be a Royal Rumble entrant. So you have the Mysterios announcing they will enter a Royal Rumble. And then you got a match between the Street Profits and Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. The Street Profits would win this match in a very okay tag team match. The Street Profits, there was no doubt they were going to win. They were performing every move they can. Street Profits pick up the win and then announce they are in the Royal Rumble match. So they have 5 people announce they are in the Royal Rumble match. Starting to build. We're on the road to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting excited. After this, Sonya Deville. So we got the triple threat match announcement. And then we got the United States Championship match, in which if Damian Priest is counted out or disqualified, Dolph Ziggler will win the United States Championship. And this was a very good match. I thought Dolph Ziggler was going to win this match at times. There was so many times where I'm like, Damian Priest is going to get himself disqualified, counted out. In which that is not a bad idea for him to win the championship. And because it keeps Damian Priest strong and moves him into the main event. And at the same time, it helps Dolph Ziggler. But unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler would lose this match. Damian Priest would retain. And in a very good match, congratulations to Damian Priest. Damian Priest still your United States champion. And then we got Vince McMahon talking to Austin Theory in a backstage segment. He said, congratulations, Austin. Even though you didn't beat Finn Balor, you beat the living shit out of him. So congratulations, and you are going to enter the Royal Rumble. So now we have 6 people announced for the Royal Rumble. Very exciting. Austin Theory is in the Royal Rumble for the first time ever in his career. Bravo to him. We then got The Miz and Maurice in a little talking segment, just talking. saying why he lost to Edge at